Progressive shorthand dictation 100 word per minute. Please like, share and subscribe. Sir, I will come later to the questions raised by the members on this question regarding age, etc., and also their apprehensions. I would to take the members into confidence in order to ensure objectivity and impartiality of the tribunals. It has been provided that the chairman, vice chairman, and members are debarred from holding any other post under the central or state government, and on their ceasing to hold such office, they cannot also appear or plead before a tribunal in which they have held office. With the establishment of the administrative tribunals, all the cases before pending before the courts except the appeal cases pending before any of the high courts or the Supreme Court would get transferred to the tribunals. This is in accordance with the provisions contained in the Constitution. The final orders of the tribunal will be binding on both the parties, and every party aggrieved by any order of the tribunal can go and appeal to the Supreme Court as provided in the Constitution. Honorable member, although had agreed that the bill was important, admitted that it seeks to remedy and make it easier for employees for redressal of their grievances, yet the questioned the composition of the tribunal by saying that it would endanger the cases of the employees, that their independence will be in danger, that this was a good ground for retired officials, and that it was brought in a hurried manner. He suggested that it be given to a joint select committee, that the employees' unions were not consulted, and that the government is evading and avoiding. Sir, nothing can be far from the truth. His leader, who has been a central government employee himself for the 28 years before coming to the legislature of Parliament, had himself spoken on this bill, and in fact he had questioned that it has taken 8 years to come. In 1976, when an amendment was brought in, my distinguished predecessor had explained that after 1976, for 3 years, this government was not in power, and time had elapsed, but the government had, on its earliest opportunity, brought the legislation. It had been passed by the Rajya Sabha in August 19. It would have come to the Lok Sabha, but the Lok Sabha was dissolved, and it has come now. So there is no question of bringing it in a hurried manner. The legislation has been discussed with the Joint Consultative Machinery and the staff in 1977, but consultation does not mean that whatever suggestions are given have to be incorporated, but at the same time, of the two suggestions given by the staff, one has been accepted in 1976. The National Council and the Joint Consultative Machinery was consulted at their request. After a detailed discussion with them, two suggestions were made to the government. They related to having representative of the staff as members of the tribunal and bringing premature retirement cases also within the purview of the tribunal. The suggestion of the staff representatives could not be accepted as the tribunal has no arbitration power but will function like a court. In fact, this is no parallel high court but will take service matters out of the high courts and act like the high courts. The suggestion regarding premature retirement cases has, however, been accepted by the government. Thus, the views of the staff side have been duly considered by the government before formulating the bill. Now, sir, after consulting the staff associations and the joint consultative machinery, it has been deliberated by the law ministry before it was brought to parliament. It was discussed in this very house only last year before being returned to the Rajya Sabha. So, the charge that the government is evading or avoiding or brought it in a hurried manner has no basis about the independence being in jeopardy. I would like to submit that the tribunal seeks to bring in object blame between the administrative and judicial people, and therefore instead of jeopardizing the cases of employees, it is to safeguard their interests. I would like to mention that it is the Supreme Court itself which had given its ruling on the setting up of the administrative tribunals. Even the court had appreciated that the administrative tribunals proposed to be set up under the provisions of the Administrative Tribunals Bill are intended to deal exclusively with cases relating to service matters of government employees. These tribunals are intended to deal exclusively with cases relating to service matters of government employees. This is major difference between the tribunals and the High Court. The examination of service rules, which are fairly complex, require a high degree of proficiency in the service rules on the part of the members of the administrative tribunal. Officers have behind them a long and varied service career in which they would have acquired a thorough understanding of service rules.